In Paris, the race for accommodation is as fierce as an Olympic competition.
An apartment is posted at 9 a.m, you call at 9:05, and all the visits are already booked.
The number of rentals are plummeting, whilst prices are soaring.
15 square meters for 900 euros? I'm not that desperate yet.
Yet real estate agents are overwhelmed with demand. Short-term rentals, efficiency upgrades.
2 more people, please.
Prospective tenants are paying the price for the ongoing crisis.
Housing is the first thing we need to start a new life. But nowadays, it's very complicated.
In southwestern Paris that morning, a dozen people showed up for a group viewing.
It's available immediately. It's a 3-room apartment.
1,193 euros for 39 square meters. The candidates only had a few minutes to make up their minds.
Should I put you forward?
And try to stand out among their competitors.
2 more people, please.
Leandre is 27. He's been looking for a flat for the past 2 months, having visited more than 15 different places.
There are a few offers, lots of people apply for all the listings, so today it's complicated to find a suitable place at the prices advertised. Hello, sir. I'm calling about an ad I saw on the PAP website.
It's already rented out.
It's already rented? Okay, thank you anyway. Have a good day. The ad was posted on March 11th. That's today.
A flat advertised that very morning, already rented out. Every day it's the same routine for Leandre, sifting through all the listings in vain.
Le Bon Coin, Se Loger, Bien Ici, PAP, Gens de Confiance, Ginka. I check them all. I try not to miss out on a rare find. I have an Excel spreadsheet where I write down the visits, their time, the description of the property. But with a full-time job, I can't spend all day on it.
Leandre is currently staying with a family member. Despite his permanent job as an events project manager, with a monthly income of around 2,400 euros and 2 guarantors, his application hasn't been accepted.
There were 2 or 3 apartments where I was in the final stages, so to speak. Unfortunately, each time they chose the applications with the highest income, which I can understand as it's more reassuring for them. There are fewer and fewer offers, and inevitably, over time, I wonder whether I made the right decision to stay in this city, even if it's very attractive.
Leandre's case is far from unique. In Paris, the demand for housing has exploded in recent months.
My partner and I are desperately looking for an apartment to rent.
I have a permanent job, a not-so-great salary, but I'm nice and I have a guarantor.
Our landlord just told us he's taking back the flat in 2 months.
I'm interested in all your ads. Feel free to send me a private message.
In the capital, the number of rentals has decreased by 74% in 3 years, according to real estate specialists.
Out of 4 available properties, 3 have disappeared, which is unbelievable. As a comparison, in France, for example, over the same period, we've seen a 25% decrease in rental supply. It's 3 times greater in Paris than in the rest of the country. As a direct consequence, rents started to increase roughly 2 years ago, and they soared in the past year in 2023. We've gone from an increase of less than 2% to over 3%.
The Parisian housing market is feeling the pinch of rising interest rates. Over the past 2 years, tenants have had difficulty buying their own home, so they remain tenants for longer and don't free up their accommodation. As soon as a flat does become available, the race is on. Eddie Gapion is a real estate agent, and he easily found a taker for this apartment.
The apartment is 29 meters square with 2 rooms. Here you have the living room, which is charming with the fireplace and the moldings.
When he posted this property online, Eddie didn't expect so much enthusiasm.
My phone was ringing non-stop. I received 140 calls in the first half hour. Within an hour, I had 200 emails, over 150 text messages. My voicemail was full. Unfortunately, I couldn't respond to everyone.
Another reason why affordable rentals are scarce is because some apartments are in poor condition. In Paris, 35% of homes are not energy efficient. Their owners won't be allowed to rent them out if upgrades haven't been made by 2025 or 2028, depending on the insulation grade.
Nowadays, there are many old properties with grades F and G. Landlords are wondering what to do. Some decide to sell their apartments because they can't afford the insulation work. It cost 44,000 euros to renovate this flat. It's a lot. And on top of that, there's a loss of space because you have to insulate the walls. Here, for example, they lost 2 square meters.
Insulating walls, windows, roofs, changing the entire heating system. In a bid to ease tensions with homeowners, the French government has agreed to a new method to calculate the energy performance of small properties, meaning that some homes under 40 square meters might not have to be renovated just yet. The new energy efficiency audits will start on the 1st of July for roughly 11% of small apartments.
The new audits could provide temporary relief in this highly constrained calendar, where energy goals are fast approaching. So it is good news, but it won't change much.
In the midst of this rental housing crisis, 1 in 5 properties is actually vacant in Paris, according to the Urban Planning Agency. Second homes, vacation rentals, 262,000 homes are reportedly empty or nearly empty all year round. Paris wins the gold medal when it comes to seasonal rentals. On Airbnb alone, there are at least 60,000 furnished rentals up for grabs. And with the upcoming Olympic Games, the number of short-term leases are booming. The local housing advice agency has recently noticed a rise in eviction notices, especially for furnished apartments. Sophie Morvan is a specialized lawyer. On a dedicated phone line, she guides tenants who are questioning their landlord's integrity.
Yes, hello?
Mrs. Hello, I'm the agency lawyer. So your son received the notice, right? He's the one who holds the contract?
Yes, that's right. He was informed in early February that the landlord would be taking back the apartment in early July. We were wondering if it's got something to do with the Olympics. Some people want to reclaim their apartments to rent it out, don't they?
Of course. The notice period has been respected. It was done at least 3 months in advance, so there's no problem. It was on March 14th. The landlord justifies this by saying that he split up with his wife and now he's moving into the apartment because he has nowhere else to go. He invokes a reason that seems real and serious, but is it really true? The problem is that the proof can only be provided once your son has left, you see. But to me, the notice seems valid, at least at first glance. Obviously, it's going to tempt a lot of people. They're able to rent out their apartment for huge amounts of money per night, whereas longer leases with tenants who use the apartment as their main residence are regulated. So yes, there is a risk. The only way to prove a fraud is to vacate the flat and then return to the premises to get the neighbors' testimonies. Perhaps take a photo of the mailbox to see if the name invoked in the notice matches or not. It's only then that the fraud is noticeable. The tenant can then take the matter to court to claim damages. The landlord can be fined up to 6,000 euros.
More and more people, desperate to find a rental, are now seeking help from research assistants. That's when Cyril comes to the rescue.
Here's what you can get for 1,000 euros in Paris. Check out this 2-room apartment in the southeast. A client visited it today. That's the bathroom, the kitchen. The apartment is roughly 32 square meters. 1,000 euros is a pretty good deal considering the location and that kind of flat. She submitted her application. We'll see what happens. Tell me what you think and subscribe for more. See ya!
Highly active on TikTok, he offers personalized searches for young house hunters. That day, he had an appointment with Sarah, a 21-year-old student looking for a studio of at least 15 square meters. Sarah has a budget of 750 euros and a guarantor.
I wanted to tell you that unfortunately, there's a lot of competition for apartments at 750 euros.
The student doesn't have many requirements, but she does want a place in a safe location.
Is Montmartre okay?
Yeah, Montmartre is... it's okay.
The aim is for us to be available as soon as an apartment frees up. That way, as soon as something comes up, we call as quickly as possible and book the viewing. We're like assistants. The goal is for the person to get a viewing and everything else: booking, paperwork, sending, and modifying documents. We do it.
For Sarah, the countdown has begun. She's expected to vacate her bedroom at her student residence in May.
It's making my life easier as a student with classes and everything. I tried doing it on my own for 2 weeks, but it's impossible. An apartment's posted at 9 a.m., you call at 9:05 and all the visits are already booked, and the voicemail is full. It's a nightmare.
Sarah's now forking out 250 euros for extra help.
She certainly won't make 10 visits this month. Maybe she'll make 4, 1 a week. But the goal is to make sure that each visit works out well.
Real estate analysts say that there might be a surge in listings in September, after the Olympics. But for now, the race for a flat in Paris remains fiercely competitive.